Ashwini, thanks for joining us here at the ET Lounge in Davos. What are your focus areas in Davos this time, and what are the kind of conversations you've been having here?
There is a lot of interest in people trying to understand what is Prime Minister Modi ji's economic thinking. People are very today familiar about Prime Minister's foreign policy thinking, and there is a lot of curiosity about the economic thinking. So we have had multiple sessions where the large fund managers, CEOs and CTOs of many technology companies, CEOs and CTOs of investment banks, they would like to, CFOs of investment banks, they would like to understand how our growth has been structured, what is Prime Minister's economic thinking, what was the difference between our approach versus the approach of the Western world as a response to COVID and the years beyond that. So these are very significant points of interest. We have had many sessions on these.
A number of Indian states are here very strongly, making strong pitches, making a lot of announcements and so on. Have you got a sense of what is the overall investment landscape looking like for them?
There is good interest, and one important thing is that our Prime Minister basically gave us this concept that we should have a integrated India pavilion. So this year, unlike in the past, we have had all the states integrated within the India pavilion.
Right.
So that's very good thing. So that gives a very unified picture to the world, and there is good healthy competition between the states.
Yes.
I think the way the world is looking at India today, one, there is an element of trust. There is an element of hope. There is an element of well thought through strategy. There is an element of technology. There is an element of domestic demand. So these are the items which are really playing out, and we can see investments coming up in the months to follow.
Right.
And of course, there were many announcements done here.
Right. Broadly, when you speak with international bankers, investment firms, etc., you're picking up optimism about India?
Yes, very consistent thought process. If you check the notes of the previous 2 or 3 Davos meetings, there is a good consistency, there is a good realization that yes, our country is on the right track, it's doing the right things. There is, of course, a lot of enthusiasm about the technology piece, especially, let's say, semiconductors, what we are doing about AI, what is our strategy on semiconductor. Of course, people have accepted that this is the right thing, and now practically today morning we had the semiconductor roundtable, and everybody, the chemical guys, they would like to set up their permanent plants now. The equipment guys who started in very short, small steps, now they want to come in a big way. AI, people are advising that today model is becoming a commodity, focus on solutions, focus on applications, which is what our AI mission is.
Yeah.
A lot of good advice also coming from the industry participants here.
What is the one thing that investment firms, banks, and CFOs, etc., are asking from you that this needs to change about India? Is there any such thing that people are asking?
Many examples people gave that the first time when they met the Prime Minister in New York, Prime Minister asked them to give a list of 10 items, and today morning one CEO was saying that all those 10 items are done. Wow. So this is a government which delivers on its promises. Okay. Yes, the growth which is consistently in the range of 6 to 8% is really helping the investors take good conscious decisions. There are discussions around what will be the impact of AI on the IT industry. There are different views. Some views are there it will improve the productivity. Other views are there that both the government and the industry will have to focus a lot more on the reskilling part of it.
Yeah.
So it's a variety, but the theme is very clear. Theme is that we are on a growth path which is very consistent. We have a very clearly thought through strategy, and that's what is helping.
Donald Trump, as he took over, has announced measures that will adversely impact Indian IT workers in the United States by scrapping birthright citizenship. He has also sounded a war cry on tariffs. What is the thinking in the Indian government on how to work with the United States on these issues?
Our relationship with the US is of trust, of mutual respect. We are today taking up many projects where we are co-developing products and co-developing technologies. Joint research projects are being undertaken. So this is a relationship of trust. I've interacted with the IT industry, and we would formulate our response as a government and industry as one body. And of course, we will take it. We hope that we'll be able to uh, respond to it in a very positive way. There is a very good trust on the Indian IT industry per se, as well as the whole Indian tech ecosystem. So I think we'll be able to overcome this.
But he has also singled out India and Brazil, not for the first time. You said it in the past as well, criticizing these two countries for high tariffs, and he said that US will now be the tariff king, and will. Do you see the prospect of a trade war where all sides lose?
I don't think that will happen in the way all side lose kind of scenario. People take pragmatic decisions, and the responses are also generally pragmatic. So I think that it will play out nicely.
So India will take a considered view on all of this.
Of course.
Under your ministry in electronics manufacturing, India has had tremendous success. Are there conversations in Davos about attracting more investments into manufacturing sectors, both to double down on the success in electronics, but also to bolster other sectors?
There is a lot of interest on manufacturing in India, and one thing which the world has realized over the last few years is that there is very important element of talent and design, which is different from other geographies. Right. People used to make their decisions based on cost earlier. Now people are deciding on a combination of cost, talent, design, and domestic demand, of course. Right. So that places us in a good condition. We think that, we can very clearly see today there was one firm which said that they would like to set up a very large electronics manufacturing cluster. So they would come and scout, look at different options. We'll support them in their decision making. And semiconductor, as I said, a lot more interest. People are also interested in having clean energy based manufacturing. So that is another differentiator that we have. So I think it's going to be a good story.
US is speaking about and imposing export controls on GPUs, some restrictions around the usage of LLMs by other countries and so on. And therefore, there is now an argument that, if you can do foundational LLMs yourself, you must, and not. What's our thinking on this?
Listen, the world of AI should be seen in different segments. Of course, there is this very large LLM excitement everywhere. Then there is a very significant part of AI is in the enterprise and design ecosystem. For example, for many years now, we have been installing large number of sensors in machines. And the data which comes, the algorithms which predict the condition of the machine, that's AI, right? That part also needs to be equally emphasized, because that's where the productivity comes, that's where the reliability comes, availability of systems comes. The third part is, should we look at LLM as one entity, or should we look at very focused models which are sectoral? So today morning there was somebody who said that he invested $1.5 billion to make an LLM which was state of the art for 7 days. So that's the kind of commoditization of LLMs which is happening. There was news, somebody shared some news about experience of one new LLM which has come, which is using the data from the existing LLMs, output of existing LLMs. And so
the Chinese LLM is what you're probably referring
correct.
to.
Somebody was discussing that in one of the roundtables. Right. So the advice which is coming from most of the experts is focus on specific sectors and develop your models which are basically targeting those sectors. And today there's so much open source code available. Building upon that, use that and build your own small, sectoral, focused, very specific models. That will be much better for your countries. The figure is the advice we have got from many experts.
Right. But if, I mean, the scale at which US is speaking, they're speaking about a $500 billion investment in compute and so on. Now, will this dramatically, make the playing field even more uneven? Now, if we cannot secure computing power for ourselves, if we cannot do foundational models, etc., will the global playing field in AI tilt far too much into the advantage of the developer?
No, it won't. Talent will define. Talent will define the ultimate trajectory. And our approach has been, you have seen in the communication telecom, we set up 5G labs in 100 universities.
Yes.
We have provided the best EDA tools for semiconductor design in 240 universities. We are having the same approach in case of AI, right? So I think talent will decide the trajectory of this industry.
When you were leaving for Davos, what has been Prime Minister Modi's message to you about what message you should take to the world about India?
The element of trust which India has developed through its foreign policy and through Prime Minister's economic thinking, that's the most important factor which world should know. They are experiencing it. They should understand the thought process behind it, and they should understand the rational, the systematic thinking which has gone into this.
So India has been now a bright spot for a while, and we generally enjoy positive sentiments from investors around the world, especially in the public markets. But if you see the net FDI figures, they have begun to trend downwards. So what more do you think needs to be done? And even the gross figures are only gently sloping up. But if you look at, some of it is profit booking, some are companies who invested earlier taking money out, etc. But in a really thriving economy, even the net figures should be going up. What more do you think needs to be done to make that happen?
Listen, the FDI numbers definitely depend upon the current geopolitical and geoeconomic situation. When you have a 5% US 10-year treasury, then the equations change a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we should look at temporal or a very specific time-specific numbers. The trajectory which our country is on today, that's a very consistent growth path which really attracts people, that gives them a lot of confidence about the future decisions.
You had an interesting meeting with Swiss Railways today. Can you tell us what is that about? Is there any talk of partnership?
We have MOU with Switzerland, with Japan, on understanding their good practices. So we had a lot of long discussions, almost 7-8 hours of discussions around how they maintain their tracks, what are the practices, what are the technologies that they use, what are the kind of protocols that they follow. And this is very good learning for all of us. And as you know, we are continuously striving to improve the technological base of railways, whether it is new trains, whether it is new types of tracks, upgrading the tracks, whether it is maintenance. In every sector, we are trying to get the latest technologies. It was a very good session with Swiss Railways.
Lovely. On TikTok, Trump has said now, and there is a move that maybe one of the US tech billionaires could acquire TikTok, Larry Ellison or Elon Musk himself, or something of that sort. If that were to happen, will India consider allowing TikTok back to the country?
I wouldn't like to comment on it at this point of time. Let the things play out.
Yeah. Ashwini ji, as always, a real pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.